Dear God, we came to you in prayer with a humble heart. Please guide us and give us strength as we navigate through this day. Help us to be a vessel of your love and kindness to make a positive impact in the world.
May your presence be with me always, and may I always strive to do your will. Thank you for your blessings and for the gift of life. Amen.
Welcome to Y.Y.C.I International, a home of discovery, development and demonstration. A home of love, relationship and family. A place of mastering mindset for transformation and building deeper relationships.
YYCI Blueprint is TIME for the youth leaders and young families. Transformation and training. Inspiration and impartation. Mentoring and motivation. Empowering and education.
Y.Y.C.I International Limited mission is to transform lives, relationships, professions and education, and to support the youth and women to change their mindset, their stories and their situations, and also to support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children. YYCI's mission is to engage the youth's mind positively and take positive actions, to help them to focus and not to be distracted, and to get better and let them know they have everything in them to be successful and fulfilling their purpose, and once they believe in themselves and focus on their development, they can also help others to get better, and that is why we established Y.Y.C.I International Limited mission is to transform lives, relationships, professions and education, and to support children, youth and women to change their mindset, their stories and their situations, and also to support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children. Our aim is to provide services of care, protection, participation, and rehabilitation of children and youths in difficult situations, and ensure their social adjustment, total growth and development. To advocate and support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children and partner with other organizations, orphanages, hospitals and institutions that support the underprivileged and vulnerable women and children. To support and protect vulnerable children. To provide extra help underprivileged women. To ensure they are kept safe. To provide healthy food. To provide education. To provide child welfare services. To protect children from abuse, neglect. To enable children to remain safely in the premises provided. To be a good listener, good friend and true to the children and the youth.
Dr. Elizabeth Lucas is a dynamic and motivation speaker. She is based in the United Kingdom. She is the founder and director of Y.Y.C.I International. She has been invited to several international conferences to speak and lecture. She is an intelligent teacher, author, and she is a mentor to the younger generation. Please subscribe to YYCI TV on YouTube to watch her amazing videos. You will be glad you did.
This is just to let you know that there is nothing too difficult for you to do.
If we can change, then everything around us will change.
Without wisdom, you can't really create wealth. We are in the world of creativity.
Creative.
Now I'm moving over. I just want you to read this, if it's possible.
Okay, and the law school. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Mark.
Okay, over to Mr. Olaniyi Odukoya.
All right, ma'am. Yeah, good morning, my good people. Good morning, my business owners. Please, can you all mute your mic now? Good morning to everyone, school proprietors, business owners, companies owners, and also to our facilitator, Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu, who happens to be the founder of Y.Y.C.I International, UK, and also operates a diploma program with Appleton University, UK, and Spain. We decided to have this training because of so many of us have been asking me questions here and there. But just to put it straight to us, I want us to get our writing materials so that we'll be able to learn and acquire more knowledge in terms of this new tax law that we are having in Nigeria. But at the same time, I want to quickly let us know that nobody is an epitome of knowledge. Maybe my queen, maybe you help me just be admitting them because I'm still doing it at the same time while I'm talking.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay, so maybe I will leave that for you for now.
Yes.
Now, so please, I want us to benefit from this training. Otherwise, it's something that naturally shouldn't have come without a charge. But because of the love I have for all my people, especially in Akute areas where I have happened to work, Agbara areas, Ifo, and the rest, that is why I have decided to share my little knowledge concerning this new tax law with us. By the grace of God, I was privileged. In fact, up to now, I don't know who added me to a platform that is being anchored by the man in charge, Mr. Oyedele, the one that is behind this revolution of the tax law. I just find myself in one of their platform where I get vital and current information. Just like it was being said there, and I also want to state it here, that there are still some aspects of this tax law that is subject to interpretation. So I want us to know that right from now. There's some aspect that when it kick off come January 1st, 2026, they might have more interpretation to it by either the joint GRB, that is Joint Revenue Board, or the NTAA, the Nigerian Tax Administration, or even the NRS, the Nigerian Revenue Service. So we'll be looking at a lot of things, but please, for the purpose, this program is being recorded by YYCI, and I want every one of us, let us try and abide by the rules of the games here, or the way it is being operated. We are all professionals. If you are not a school owner, you don't own a business, or you are not a consultant, it's likely you won't be on this loop or this platform. So please, you are expected to name your devices you are using either with your name or your business name. That is the standard anywhere. You are supposed to have entered, not maybe using the name of your phone. So if you've not done so, you could please do that. And please, I want to appeal to every one of us why we have just commenced now. All cameras should be open when we're doing a thing of importance like this. Kindly open your camera and you can mute your mic. I think they've even muted everybody. Open your cameras and be mindful of what you do at the background, because it is being recorded. And the purpose is that possibly we can benefit after, and even maybe some that are unable to make it. So having said that, I want to appreciate once again Y.Y.C.I International, and I also want to appreciate every one of you that have been able to make it to this platform. I've seen some of my good friends. I've seen some of them from the Polytechnic, from the Internal Revenue, and a lot of them. So please, we'll go straight away to what we have for today. But please have an open mind. Get 1 or 2 points, get your note, get your biro as much as possible. I will not be too fast because 2 hours, I can tell you, is not even adequately enough, but we will utilize it very well. And I want you to concentrate at the appropriate time. We shall entertain questions from our participants. And please, let us just kickstart it now. Now, the Nigerian tax reform. The first thing we need to ask ourselves, why having a tax reform? The one we are having before, were there any deficiency in it? Why should they do a reform? So a lot of things has been happening that necessitated the government of our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and with his team, now look at it that there is need for us to review our tax administration generally. So there are some things that they felt does not go with the ethics or the canons of taxation, and they felt there is need to adjust it for a better Nigeria. Of course, increase in revenue is just an addition, but I can tell you for free, that is not the major reason for doing this tax reform. Let's go now. There is a structure. Let me just put it that I want to do a kind of structural summary of the key changes that are introduced by the 2025 Nigerian tax reform, which will take effect from 1st January 2026. Now, we'll also be looking at how these effects are likely to affect personal income tax, operation of the corporate income tax, even the capital gain tax, capital allowance, and withholding taxes. I can tell you for free that majority of the people here, I think about 80% of us, I think majority are school owners. So because of that, I will talk on other areas, but I will try and expatiate more on the aspect that concern my people, especially the school operators, business owners here in Nigeria. Of course, there are some other aspect that has to do with Nigeria in diaspora, multinational companies. I will touch it, but there are some other aspect that also will let us know in terms of the sections of the law that is in the new tax law that affects individual. Now, because of this reform, some of the effects are still subject to interpretation. Just like I said earlier, some of this, the terminology, some of the things inside this new tax law are still subject to interpretation, even judicial guidance. There are some that when it comes to January 2026, there might be litigation issue that even judiciary, the court, will still have to come in and put in their own interpretation as well. Of course, no law is perfect. It's capable of multiple interpretation. That is what we are meant by judicial guidance. And the implementation regulations, all these things have been spelled out. But the high-level picture I want us to look at here is from the complementary and analysis. I want to break it this way. Number one, I want to look at it, the main feature of the reform status. What are the main features, or what are the main things contained in this Nigerian tax reform 2025? What are the main features? Now, the main point of each of these three, we have three major reform that we can specify. One, we have the NRRA, which is what NRRS, which what we call the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act of 2025. The Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act of 2025. And we also have the NTAA. What is NTAA? Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. And we also have the JRB, which is the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act 2025. I'll be looking at these three major ones. Before I want to tell you in advance that after analyzing all those ones, then I will now dive into the practical aspects. What is expected of you to do? How can you, let me say, mitigate or reduce your possible liability come next year? I will dive into those areas. Is there any avenue for any tax planning or whatever is expected? I will touch little on it, and possibly in our subsequent lectures, we can now pick it one by one. If you're talking on personal income tax, we'll pick it and we'll pieces it to the end. If we are talking about company, we look at it. Now, the implication of the NRRS, which is the meaning is Nigerian Revenue Service Act, established Act of 2025. The implication of having a revenue service. Now, the main purpose is that this revenue service that federal government has just introduced now replace the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It has replaced it. It's just like changing their name with a lot of functions, duties, responsibilities now. And they have sort of rebranded it. Now, they rebrand it. They are expanded the Nigerian Revenue Service in such a way that it is now the Central Federal Tax Authority. Another name we can just call it is that when you say Nigerian Revenue Service, to make it clearer or to a layman understanding, just call it the Central Revenue Authority. Like we have Ogun State Internal Revenue Service. In Ogun State, there are a lot of tax stations. Where I am as the manager, you could have Agbara Tax Office, Akute Tax Office, and the rest of them. But as we have Ogun State, OGRS, Lagos State calls its own LIRS, Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, and so on. But now, we're not having one that will now be seen as the Central Federal Tax Authority. Please, let's take note of that. Now, which is the name the act gives to it is the Nigerian Revenue Service Act. So please let us take note of that. And the purpose, number one purpose is that that it has been empowered to assess. I'm talking about the Nigerian Revenue Service. The law empower them to assess, collect, enforce, and account for federally collected taxes. Please take note. They are saddled with the responsibility of assessing, collecting, enforcing, and also to account for all the taxes that are federally collectible taxes and some non-tax revenue. So unlike before, now they will assess, collect, enforce, and also account for all federally collectible taxes, and even some non-tax revenue. When we talk of or when we say non-tax revenue, too, I want to try and break it down to us. What are we referring to? Example of such taxes are royalties, statutory levies. So all those taxes is part of their duty to collect. Now, under this new regime or under this new tax reform, they are also to confer a kind of confidentiality, and they must be secretive in terms of their obligation. What do we mean by that? Part of the ethics of any professional body has that aspect of professional competence, and they must be able to keep privileged information at their disposal. That does not mean that because they have access to the accounts of organizations that they now have to divulge it to people. No, they still have to keep those information. Now, they also allow electronic records. I'm talking about Nigerian Revenue Service now. They will allow electronic records and data sharing. Now, data sharing, integration with other agencies. That is where the fear is to many people. Now, and I want to tell us ahead, we need to start thinking right now. We need to start putting our house in order. Let me leave it to when I come to the practical way of reducing or limiting your tax liability. Now, there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place for anyone come January 2026. You either do it well or you get more taxes to pay. If you don't do it well, you pay those taxes. Of course, you may have one or two consultants that will help you if and only if you have proper record keeping. Narration is key in this new tax reform. Whatever you do, have a proper documentation, narrate whatever is your expenses, transfers, and the rest of them. Otherwise, you come back and get assessment. Now, but integration with other agencies, very important. I'm still talking about the purpose and the key changes of the Nigerian Revenue Service and the Federal Inland Revenue Service before. Now, they will do more of integration, and this will happen via usage of technology. Some of us are thinking that because they say that come January, if you don't have TIN, you are likely not to be able to operate account and the rest of that. It doesn't mean that you are going to queue somewhere and be applying for TIN. No, technology has advanced, and I can tell you for free that majority of the technology they want to use, the software and everything they want to use, they are already in place. It is going to be a migration. It is going to be a migration. The majority of you or of us, you have BVN, you have NIM. Why it's just to give a command, the system will automatically migrate it and you get your thing. And if for anything you do not have, there will be a link, you just click and you are there. So there are a lot of things in place now, and we need to be conversant with it. I don't want to be too technical, but I have to still tell us the way it is. Now, the last point I want to say in terms of their purpose or the key changes is that the law repeal the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act. That law repealed the Federal Inland.
Sorry, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yeah, it's a mistake. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Hello? Okay, because I didn't touch my device. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to omit people. Please try to mute yourself whenever the teaching is going on. I'm begging. And please open your camera and be mindful of what you do at the background. Please, it's very important.
All right. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, the last point I was saying is that this new Nigerian Revenue Service Act 2020, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act, let's call it the proper way, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act 2025, repeal the Federal Inland Revenue Service Establishment Act of 2007. When you say something repeal, we're saying that it's completely, the former one will cease to exist. All the content, everything that is there, you cannot have an issue or a case and you refer to that one again. It will not work. You have to make use of the current. Please let us take of that, since it has repeated. No matter the knowledge you have, on the previous Federal Revenue Service Act, it's by come January 1st, 2026, it becomes null and void. Now, what is the implication of the Nigerian Revenue Service Act, Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act 2025? When I say what is the implication is that there is a shift. There will be a shift then from the Federal Revenue Service to Nigerian Revenue Service. Now, and why? Why that shift? Why don't they continue using that Federal Revenue? Now, when you say federal, it is an indication that it is solely for federal government. But when you say Nigerian Revenue Service, you are saying that it cut across all the states or any division you have within the country. So that is the shift from being a federal agency to now a Nigerian agency. And the intention is to modernize. The intention of this is to modernize and centralize tax collection. Is to modernize and centralize tax collection. And that is the primary intention. And centralized tax collection, by centralizing that tax collection, what we mean is that rather than Lagos State collecting its own, other Ogun State, Taraba, and the rest, the collection is now being done centrally. And that will reduce what I can call fragmentation or issues of boundary dispute and the rest between states. For instance, Lagos and Ogun State, they have some border areas. Akute and Ojodu, Akute and Bega, Agbara, there are some side. It's Ogun State, there are some side. It's Lagos, Agbado, and the rest. Now, all these things will have been taken care of in this new Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Act. And most importantly, it will strengthen enforcement. It will strengthen enforcement, meaning that there is no hiding place for any tax agent or payer. There's no hiding place. Yeah, rather than paying their tax, they will say, they are in Ogun State too. When Ogun State people come to them, they will say, no, they are not in Ogun State, they are in Lagos. When Lagos people come to them, they will say they are not in Lagos, their complaint is in Ogun State. And with this new tax reform, there's no hiding place for them. They can't hide anywhere. They have to play by the rule of the game. And that is the good thing about this new tax reform. And we must, at the same time, ensure that we do the right things. Otherwise, one will run into problems. So this new tax law is trying to, and one other good point is that integration. It integrates non-tax revenue in one institution. How do we mean? If you are making your payments of taxes, all will be encapsulated into one. It's just like one is not feeling well, somebody is ill. Rather than taking different tablets, they now produce a capsule. That's the essence. You now have a capsule that you can just take one capsule. It will solve the problem of headache, solve the problem of pain. That is what this Nigerian Revenue Service is all about. So please, we need to take note of that. Some of the implications we'll begin to see next year are what I've just mentioned. But the most interesting part is that by the time I get to the practical aspects, I will tell us some of the things that is expected of you to do. Please, just follow me. That is all I want to say for now about the Nigerian Revenue Service. So let's have that. Let me quickly go to Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. Nigerian Tax Administration Act, which is 2025, which is usually referred to as NTAA. NTAA, Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. Now, we've looked at the Nigerian Revenue Service, and we agree that it is that central body that collects all the revenue accruable to government in Nigeria come January 2026. Now, Nigerian Tax Administration Act, what is the purpose of this Nigerian Tax Administration entity, NTAA 2025? And what are those key changes compared to the PIT or whatever we had before? Number one thing we need to know is that this NTAA, Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025, introduces unified tax system. It's sort of unify our tax system into one. So the aspect of double taxation and some of those things that have been creating problems between various revenue service and states are taken care of. Now, and there is it's consistent. It has a procedure, consistent procedure or rules for tax administration. This one specifies the procedures and rules for tax administration in Nigeria. Talking of assessment, what are the procedure? Of course, we have in the other one, but there are some little adjustment to this. But for the purpose of this lecture, I might not go deep into that. But if one is talking to core tax professionals, then we can begin to break some of these things down. But let me just speak assessment, objection, appeal, and collection. Assessment, for anybody to pay tax, you must have received assessment. If you go and file your returns, either for your personal or for the your employee. Then objection. See, I need to let us know that they can, even if they give you 1 billion, it doesn't make it final and conclusive. You need to have that at the back of your mind. And that is what I always tell business owners. You are contributing your quota to the economy. Government will not kill your business. Don't be afraid. You are not into illegal business. You are not doing fraudulent business. You need to know that if they are referring to people that are in nature, you are part of them. So if there are any issue in terms of taxes, all you need to do is just to find a way around it. Look for, if you are not knowledgeable enough, look for people that can be of assistance to you. Ask your colleagues, ask your group leader or whatever. Seek for information. If you are given an assessment and you feel this thing is too much, where will I get this kind of money? You can object it. It is your right as the taxpayer to object any assessment that you feel is not okay for you. But your objection, the problem we are having majorly in this country is that majority of us, we don't keep proper record. It's not that we don't have our transaction we cannot use to reduce or whatever assessment has been given to us, but we don't even care. Since we're operating business, money is coming in, I'm paying salary, and I'm seeing small, I'm okay, there's no problem. No, business should not be done like that. You need to keep proper record. If we fail next year to keep proper record, you will end up paying taxes that we are not expected to pay. And what are those records we keep? We'll come to that. So if you are even giving any assessment, you can object. If you object, if the revenue service field is not okay, you can appeal. And there are a lot of things to that, but please let us take note of that. Then, one of the main purpose of the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025 is also to strengthen audit power. To strengthen audit power. I have a write-up on, in fact, this particular one, power of auditors or tax administrators. I have it here, but by the time I go into it, has a lot of, I will take a little from it. The sections that corroborate from the Nigerian Tax Administration Act and the former tax PIT we're using, and they're still, even they have given Revenue Office more power now. As much as they are giving them more power now, you need knowledge to be able to do the right thing. That by the time they come to you, it's not your own organization the power will be used upon. By the time you're already on the right path, and that is one of the major reasons that made us to organize this training. That's how do we have knowledge and we'll keep it to ourselves, and we know it can have negative impact on people in future. Let's share it. Now, they have more power of audit. I'm talking about the revenue service. And this power we're referring to has to do with information gathering. The other time under the Nigerian Revenue Service hat, we talk of working in synergy with other agencies. That's the same thing is coming up here now under the NTAA, Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. That they still have power again. They are doubling their power that they can source for information anyhow they feel they will get it, and as long as it will result in additional collection for government. So they will gather information about you. Those of us that are any small thing, we go on social media, continue. Any small thing, you post everything. Any small thing, continue. We get you next year. Continue. Government will use everything. You can see the issue of this guy that is always on. Is it Pella or what's his name? When they slam him some money, Lagos State government next year has not come. So, and it doesn't mean even if you don't go on social media, government will get everything. These are sophisticated equipment, softwares that will get everything. When I get to the practical aspect, I will visit some things for us, open our eyes to understanding, and you'll be more careful in your business dealings and transactions. Now, then penalties. They also have power to give you penalties at interest rate or the prevailing market rate. Then the compliance tools they will use. Compliance tools and tax enforcement is not business as usual. Compliance tools is not business as usual. I was privileged to listen to one of the facilitators of this tax reform in the platform that I said they handed me. Let me not call the person name. He was being interviewed, and in the process, he did mention that if you get assessment next year, you will just be seated in your home. You just see a text message on your phone from Nigerian Revenue Service. Maybe you did a transaction, maybe your friend abroad or somebody sent money anyhow. You just get a message on your phone that based on the transaction you've done, blah, 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 you have a tax of so, you have to pay within a period of maybe 3 months, or even if whatever period, if it's 30 days they give to you. If you have any objection, kindly visit so and so office, blah, blah, blah. And you say, I lie. And you continue like that. When it is getting towards that time, they will give you 14 days reminder, 7 days reminder. After that, what the person said was, it's gone at the days that somebody start pursuing you here and there. They will use these tools of compliance. It was even said there that the money will be deducted from anything you do. I give you example. They make use of example that, okay, if you are owing, possibly, that's why I said there are areas that is subject to interpretation. That was what made me say that at the beginning of the lecture, that there are still some areas that are of contention. Let me use that right word, which will now, by the time it commenced, then they can now begin to break it down. He was saying that if you are owing and you load a recharge card of, let's say, 100,000, and you are owing government, if the law permits certain percentage to be deducted from that money, you load 100,000 and you see a balance of 40,000 of 60,000. They'll begin to use every means to collect their money. If you load data, it mentions data, they draw from the data. They mention a lot of things. So we are getting to an era that the best thing is for you to comply. The best thing is for you to be open. Of course, tax planning under this new reform is different from the tax planning that we can do now. It's different from the tax planning we are doing now, because the law do not permit you to just do your tax planning anyhow the way we do it this time around. You must do your tax planning and carry along the revenue offices, the Nigerian Revenue Service. Go and read it very well. And for those of us that care to, maybe for knowledge, I could send the Gazette. You know, this thing is no longer beyond my burial. Maybe they will start, they will not start. It's beyond that. It has been passed. It has been Gazette, officially Gazette with the federal government. So there is a Gazette copy which I have access to. After the meeting, I could share it on various platforms or give to our founding mother there, Y.Y.C.I International. So you see details, you can get to know more. I only did some extracts to give us an idea that we're moving into a new era. There's the good aspect. There are so many good aspects. It's more. So let me be a little bit faster because of our time. Now, those are the power for enforcement. They can enforce you. There is nothing, as long as you don't have evidence to prove. But where you are given an assessment, where, for instance, somebody sent me maybe 50 million naira to help him build a place or complete his house, the money comes into my account, and there's no narration on it. It looks as if I'm getting any income and all those stuff. As long as after they receive that, you see, it is an automatic system. If it comes in, it's updating, it's sending information here and there. I hope by now you know that most of all those government agencies that are collecting revenue for government, they cease to exist. I hope you know all money, even they've started practicing some of them now. But come next year, everybody, every agency, there's nothing like I'm a custom agency, you want to import this, everything goes through Nigerian Revenue Service, meaning that they are the sole people saddled with the responsibility of handling any transaction or collecting any money for government. And so we need to get to know that. Now, so for the assessment, they provide for assessment by best of judgment. The law permit them to give you a best of judgment assessment. What do we mean by best of judgment assessment? They look at your lifestyle, they look at your doings, they look at the little coming to your account, and they feel, this person should be able to do better, have best of judgment assessment. And even if they have advanced ruling, what is advanced ruling? They've been on the issue, eventually they discover or the courts now rule against you, then you will still be subject to pay whatever is the difference, if you are paid at all. Then treatment of electronic record. Electronic records, all those things you are making a computer-based system in your place, they will have access to. Then the time limit, and you'll be given time limit. And there is this, what do I please? These electronic records, they have a kind of modernization that they are doing to it. Just like you can see recently, all the money being shared among the federal, state, and local governments. You can see how huge the money is. Who do you ask question? You do a transaction of 10,000 naira and you see electronic charges of 15 naira being deducted from it. You withdraw money from another bank ATM, they charge you 107 naira. So many things that were not functioning, that we are not used to, automatically you begin to see it. So even they've removed fuel subsidy, but certain percentage will still be paid on fuel as contribution to development, national development. So even education tax, some of them have been, a lot of things have changed, but since we are not particularly tax people here. Then the last point I want to say here under their purpose is government interplay. This the government interplay of federal, state, and local government administration, meaning that the Nigerian Tax Administration Act will not just be focused on federal. They will sort of they will coordinate and sharing of information. They will coordinate both the federal, state, and local governments. They will share information both with federal, state, and local governments under uniform rule. Meaning that if I have made payment for a particular revenue head, you are not to collect any payment for that revenue head. So whatever information you have concerning me as per my network, maybe HNI, maybe I'm HNI person, I network person, individual, I network individual. If the federal do not have information about that, if the state has information about that, they should notify. So they will have gathered all those information before their assessment. So the issue of you pay a particular money in a state, they tell you you can't use it in another state. All those ones will be a thing of the past. Now, the implication of the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. Now, this Nigerian Tax Administration Act gives the Nigerian Revenue Service more, how do I put it? It gives Nigerian Revenue Service more consistent tools for enforcement and compliance. What I'm saying is that the laws that enact the Nigerian Tax Administration Act is the one that gives the power to Nigerian Revenue Service Act for enforcement and compliance purpose. Are you getting it? It's just like the PIT. This now is the law that is guiding the operations and activities of Nigerian Revenue Service Act 2025. And there are lots. In terms of enforcement and compliance. And this same law is the backbone for implementing the new substantive, how do I put it, tax rule, which is in the Nigerian Tax Act. So, in a common man way, what we are saying is that now this Nigerian Tax Act now it give power to Nigerian Revenue Service. That the act is what the Revenue Service will read like their Bible to operate. If there are any discrepancy, even there is an aspect of the law that says in this Nigerian Tax Administration Act is voluminous, but when you read it, there's an aspect that says that where there is a conflict between any other tax law or act or enactment in operation, this one take predominance. Meaning that if there is a law existing that have not been cancelled or whatever, and is in conflict with the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, Nigerian Tax Act it is the dictate of the Nigerian Tax Act that we are going to go by. I hope that is clear. And the implication of that is that the Nigerian Tax Administration Act gives the Nigerian Revenue Service the power to carry out enforcement and compliance. And it is the main backbone for implementation of this new tax reform that we are referring to. Then lastly, on the third one, before I'll go to the practical aspect, or it's me that just called that one practical aspect. Lastly is the JRB, which is what we call the Joint Revenue Board. Establishment Act 2025. Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act 2025. Please, my queen, be helping me to admit them in. Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act 2025. Now, this one repeal or replace the Joint Tax Board. The previous one is known as Joint Tax Board, while this is Joint Revenue Board Establishment Act 2025. What is the purpose and what are the key changes to this law? Now, the major thing here is that this joint JRB, Joint Revenue Board, it established a Joint Revenue Board which automatically replaced the old Joint Tax Board. Joint in one sense, all the revenue office across the state of the federation. I don't know, that's why I say it will be subject to interpretation. Maybe next year, Ogun State Internal Revenue Service or Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, maybe they will be called Ogun State Nigerian Revenue Service. I don't know, I'm just, since they are all of them will be under the Nigerian Revenue Service, which means that they are representing, they are like an arm of the Nigerian Revenue Service. I don't know the acronyms or how that will be done. By January we know that. Now, all of them now have a platform where they can meet, and that platform is what we call Joint Revenue Board, which is now replacing the old Joint Tax Board. Now, what will be their duties? What will be their responsibility? What are they saddled to do? Why are they? What is the need for the change? The major duty is that they are to provide a harmonized, please take note of the word, provide harmonized, coordinated approach to revenue administration across federal, states, and local governments. I take it again. Their major responsibility will be to provide an harmonized, coordinated approach. Just like the example I was saying, you go to a company in a Akute axis, they tell you, no, we are not in Ogun State, we are in Lagos State. All such dealings will not be visible again. They will provide harmonized, coordinated approach to revenue administration across federal, state, and local government, meaning that some duplication of collections, like the states, you pay, business premises, and local government will come and ask you for permits, either chop permit, I don't know what they call it, chop permit or the rest. All those things will become an illegal act the moment the new tax law comes, because they will get their allocation, they will get their sharing from the federal. So many things will change. And I can tell you for free, majority of those petty traders, those that have one shop, barber, tailor, and the rest of them, they are not going to fall into the category of people that are eligible to pay tax. Only few of them, those that are doing their small thing in a big way. Of course, there's a threshold for the money that will warrant them to make payment. But I'm sure the Yalata and all the Baba and the rest of them, nobody going to them that you want to collect tax will become a criminal act, because they will never. Some of them don't even see. There are some that goes to shop from Monday to Saturday. That in a week they don't even make they don't sell up to 5,000. So all these things, the new tax law has taken care of the less privilege or the low income earner. Let me not use less privilege for anybody. The low income earner, they have taken care of them. When I get there, I will let us know that even if you don't receive up to 800,000 in a year, you are not eligible to pay any tax. If your income accumulated, your salary is not up to 800,000, no tax payment. There are lots of good things in this reform. We must say that even though we are all agitated, we are afraid, wọ́n ti fẹ́ pa wá pẹ̀lú tax yìí, all this. No, I want us to calm down, or just like the president will say, ẹ lọ fọkàn balẹ̀. Let us calm down. There are good things at the end of the tunnel. Now, the second duties or purpose of this JRB, Joint Revenue Bodies, they are to set up a tax appeal tribunal, a TAC, TAA, that is Tax Appeal Tribunal. They are to set it up. And an office of this Tax Appeal Tribunal, they will handle dispute. The office will majorly handle disputes, grievances, and oversight. Please look at that word. See how fair the new tax law have said it. They will look at oversight. This oversight is a function of many factors. Is huge. We can expand it. It could be oversight on the system, maybe system error, or what they can call syntax error in those they are programming. It could be oversight on input, oversight on the raising of assessment, anything that is oversight. And it could only be considered oversight if you have documentary evidence to prove otherwise. Otherwise, it is not an oversight. If you make a transfer of 10 million and they say it was 100 million you did for the transaction, and you don't have any evidence to prove, it's an oversight, it's an error that's, by the time you begin to appeal or object, it will be corrected. But if you don't have evidence, then it will be considered to be your real transaction. Then finally, they provide framework for resolving conflicts, especially of jurisdiction between the Nigerian Revenue Service and the State Tax Authority. I think from here, maybe they will call them Ogun State Tax Authority. I think I'm seeing this from they didn't put Ogun State, but if I can see from some of the quotation in the Gazette that they will provide framework for resolving conflicts of jurisdiction between Nigerian Revenue Service, that's the overall collection agency, and the State Tax Authority. So it will be whatever is the name of your state, Ogun State Tax Authority. No longer, it may not be Ogun State Internal Revenue. And for sharing taxpayer data, they have to share taxpayer data. And the example given here is TIN among all levels. Now, this is your TIN. This TIN, tax identification number, will become very important come next year. Everything we do, the TIN will be vital in it, and you must guide it jealously. You must not just be loose with it. Are you getting it? What I mean loose, I mean even if by the time they produce from what indication, we're even hearing this is an unconfirmed information that if they produce the card, the new TIN card, it will serve as our ATM. It will serve a lot of purpose that you may not even need to have ATM or all those various banks. You can just slot it in. By the time you just select the bank you are going, you can still use it to do any transaction. So the implication of the Nigeria Joint Revenue Board is one, it is meant to reduce duplication. Please, Joint Revenue Board, one of the major purposes is to reduce duplication. Duplication of what? Taxes. Duplication of assessment. You are in Olambe, in Akute, Ogun State. Akute Tax Office come to give you assessment. Before you say Jack Robinson, Agbado people, they are dragging you. So all these kind of things will be resolved. Or you are in Agbara, Lagos State, LIS is giving you assessment. OGIRS is also giving you. This JRB will resolve such issue. Now, conflict in duplication, conflict in assessment, and jurisdictional disputes between federal, state, tax authorities, and it will also be improving certainty for taxpayer. Now, let me talk on how will it improve certainty for taxpayer. You are sure of where you belong. That is what we are still saying. Of course, the residency rule or whatever might still be applicable. You relate with the relevant tax office to your place. But no, the two tax office will not be dragging you. And I'm almost coming to the end of the three aspects before I'll go into some other practical aspect that I was referring to. Then, what is the overall effect of this tax reform? Effect on tax element. What is the effect of tax element? What do I mean by tax element? Whatever they are doing at the end of the day, the point is that taxes are to be collected. So what will be the effect of this tax element? Number one, or let me just put it, the major reason for this reform is it is expected, let me put it so, it is expected to affect each areas that we can think of. I'm talking about this new tax reform. Each area, either payee, either DA, either minimum, either whatever, it will affect each area. And I want to believe that even some of the duplication we are seeing in terms of even the road taxes, you collect POC, you collect this, all those, some people just wake up from somewhere and just come out with policy. Some of these things have been looked into with serious debate among the facilitators before coming out with all these reform. Now, so it will look at all those areas. But I want us to note that there are some challenges that are, how do I put it, explicit in the law itself, and some are implied and might require regulation. Now, when we say some challenges are explicit or they are imbued, they are inside the law. And that is what I'm referring to, that there are some that will be, there will still be interpretation. Is multiple, there is multiple of double interpretation of some of these things. That's why I said there are some of them that are still subject to interpretation. But don't let us bother our heads with that. When we get to that bridge, when we get there, we'll cross it. Those that have come out with the law, the lawyer themselves, the judge, they will give rightful interpretation. But there are some aspects as well that some people are of the opinion that it shouldn't have been this way or that way. And I know that at the appropriate time, all this will be resolved. But for knowledge sake, it's just what we are doing here, so that we prepare ourselves against the unexpected. Now, I want to just quickly go to personal income tax. For those of us that are school owners, please, I want you to listen attentively here. Those of us that are business owners, that we have been paying for our staff, we have been collecting from their salary, and we are expected to remit to government office. Please kindly listen to me now properly. Now, please, Dr. Professor, Dr. Mrs. Elizabeth Lucas, please. A lot are still coming in. Maybe I'm still helping to check them in. Please kindly assist, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yes, on personal income tax, what are the key changes there? Or what do we mean by personal income tax? Just taxes that are deducted from income of an individual. Now, this new tax law, we can refer it to as unified regime. Unified regime. It will be a time that everybody, all the states, including for everybody, are on the same page. Whatever you do in state A, when you get to state B, you are not expected to be assessed otherwise. Your information, your database, everything is open to the Nigerian Revenue Service. So no hiding place. Whatever assessment that is being given to you will be a global assessment. Assessment that will be given to you will be a global assessment, subjected to facts and figures, which you cannot deny. They will have a trail, if you want to call it an audit trail of all your transactions, no hiding place. Somebody say, me ò ní gbó lọ bank nìyẹn. Ṣebí is somebody that do bank transaction here and there. If you like, put the money in your house. They might not get you initially, but somebody is paying for your own, is it negligent, I will call it, for your own bad attitude, because it goes round. Let me give us a typical example. I want to evade. Somebody paid me. I say, no, I'm going to transfer. I'm not doing this. And I did a transaction of, let's say, 50 million or even 10 million. I was giving cash. It is someone that did that transaction. Maybe you sold a property. I'm just trying to give you a practical example that there might not be any hiding place. The only hiding place is for you to do proper tax planning, and it must be done in conjunction with the relevant tax office. That is what the law is saying. Now, I say I don't want to go to a bank. They pay me the 50 million. I sold my property to the person. They gave you cash. Somebody gave you cash. The cash is coming from somewhere. If the person that gave you the 50 million brought the cash from his house, somebody, if that person withdraw the 50 million from his bank and he pay you cash, he is going to do his documentation. He wants to be safe that he does not fall into the wrong hand. In the process, while doing his documentation, who sold this house to you? Mr. A? Okay, you are Mr. B. Where is the transaction? Where is the receipt? You must have issued something. So one leg in, one leg out. So if you block at your side, the other side will open your abnormalities. So the best thing is to try and do the needful. So this personal income tax is unified regime, and that is why it's being referred to as unified regime. And it repeal the PITA, personal income tax, that we are using before. Now, the whole Personal Income Tax Act will be repealed and its rules integrated into the NTA. Now, everything that we need to know about the personal income tax have been included in the NTAA, that is the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. Now, and just like I said, that it is that Nigerian Tax Administration Act that gives the power to Nigerian Revenue Service to carry out all whatever they want to do. So the details are in that act. So there is no hiding place. That's number one changes you need to know. It has been harmonized into one law, and that law or that act is the NTAA, Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. Then there's a reverse threshold and rate. Are we together? A reverse threshold. When we say reverse threshold and rate, we are saying that individual earning 800,000 or less per annum are exempted from tax on income and gains now. Or not now, maybe by next year. Anybody that you are earning 800,000 or less, you are not expected to pay any tax on income and gains. That is the meaning of that reverse threshold and rate. Now, if I were to be, just like I said before, if I were to be in the midst of tax people, I will go into much detail. But for the purpose of this lecture, we are breaking down a little. But subsequently, if by God's grace we have to do any other thing, any other lecture, we'll take it topic by topic and deal with it. If we are talking of personal income, that will take it and we'll trash it to the end. Now, there's a top marginal rate that is at 25% under this new regime. So, but let me not overboard us. Let me quickly go to, we have a compensation for loss of employment or injury up to 50 million is exempted. Anyone that loses any job or whatever. Progressive structure is more explicit in this new tax reform. It's progressive. You pay according to your income. You pay according to your power. And here, the rich that have been finding their way through in evading our taxes, they are the major target here. They are the major. You have collected from the society, then give back to the society. That is the meaning of this new tax reform. So they are taxed also. They are taxed very high. Then there's this thing that we call global taxation for residents. Yes, some of us, global taxation for residents. When you say resident individual, before resident individual, in the new tax law, they have expanded the scope of who is a resident individual. Of course, this may not concern most of us on this platform. After all, we are here in Nigeria. But that does not mean that we shouldn't talk on it. So resident individual is expanded in this new tax reform. Now, resident individual are taxed on worldwide income. Look at that word, worldwide income. Not only either before we'll be saying income brought in or earned in and all those, worldwide income. As long as they can trace it, they will be taxed on worldwide income, gains, and profits, even if they are not remitted to Nigeria. Can you see the difference? They will be taxed on worldwide income, on their gains and profits, even if they are not remitted to Nigeria. You are in diaspora, you are making a lot of income, and you are still a citizen of this country, you are using our facility, our passport, and the rest of that, you will be charged based on your worldwide income, even if you don't remit the money to Nigeria. So how they will do that, when it gets to that, I believe we'll get to know better. Then there's the aspect of digital assets. Digital assets, not to have right to assets or belongings. Then indirect disposal. Now, the NTA, that is the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025, introduces taxation of digital assets. And it captures certain, how do I put it, indirect disposition. What do we mean by indirect disposition? For example, where there is disposal or where disposal of shares in foreign company affect Nigerian assets. You dispose shares in foreign company and that shares is related to a Nigerian company, then digital assets will come in. So these are just some changes that have been done. Then they also have the new Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025 also introduced stricter reporting system and information disclosure. They have introduced more reporting system that must be included in every financial statement or statement of financial position now. It must be included in it. So they have changed a lot of things. even some disclosure that is voluntary, like what do you call it? Environmental disclosure, sustainability disclosure, all these new uh, contemporary issue coming up, they have been included in it. Now, changes, for instance, let me give out changes in beneficial ownership and shareholdings. If you have beneficial ownership or shareholding that is greater than or less than 5%, greater than or less than 5%, then, or maybe you are talking of takeover merger, they must, if you are having any changes in beneficial ownership, or you have a shareholding in a company that is greater or less than greater or equal to 5%, then, or there is a takeover or merger, such kind of transaction, you must notify the tax authority within 30 days. Unlike before, nobody cares about that. Any changes in beneficial ownership, the property was bequeathed to you by your father. You feel you are getting age, you now transfer to your son or your daughter. So within 30 days, you need to notify the tax authority. Why? So that proper documentation or whatever stamp duty and the rest will be done on it. So a lot of things have changed. Then use of an electronic record. They will have access to all the electronic transactions, like the e-invoicing and data sharing is also built into the system. Now, when we say data sharing is built into the system where that is the new tax revenue service system, or let's say their platform, their portal, they have built that data sharing. You can be in Ogun State working with Ogun State tax authority now. I'm using example, assuming we're in 2026 already. You are a manager at Ogun State Tax Authority, and somebody is coming to you and he said he does his business or is relocating, is in Kano. You can, from the comfort of your office, log into the Nigerian Revenue Service portal and access any information that you need. You can send, it's just like those banking system, you can send information and somebody is at the back end ready to attend to whatever you need and give you the information you need to enable maybe proper assessment, and the person will not hide anywhere. Now, that is for data sharing. All this has been inbuilt, not into it has been inbuilt into NTA and NRS. It has been inbuilt into the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, and is also part of the Nigerian Revenue Service. Now, the likely impact we need to know. Likely impact. Some lower income earner who were previously liable to tax may now fall within the exemption threshold now. I have said that before. Anyone that is receiving 800,000 and below is not expected to pay any tax. So please, we need to take note of that. Then I earner, which is I network in the HNI, I network individual, they will have to face a more predictable ceiling. At least, I'm sure at the end of the day, they are likely not to pay less than whatever 25% or whatever they get. And also, maybe a broader base. Since all their gains, foreign incomes, all of them will become taxable now. Unlike before, that whatever they present to us here is what we are using. So, but now all the gains will become taxable now. So they have no place to hide. Then greater administrative burden will be on individual track their foreign income. Now, what do we mean by that? Individuals that are always in business from one country to the other. The Nigerian Revenue Service is also there. The digital access will gain access to their collections or income, and to enable proper disclosure, they will be asked to do proper disclosure. And where they fail to do proper disclosure, then best of judgment assessment, just like the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025 said that they have the right, will now be used for them. Now, I will only talk on corporate income, even though we don't have much people on this. Most of us do not fall under this category, but all the same, on corporate income tax. Now, there is a retention of headline rates. Now, the standard company income rate, income tax still remains at that 30%. Then the what we call minimum tax, I think that's will have to give way to what we now call minimum effective tax, MET. No longer minimum tax, but now MET, which is minimum effective tax. And some will say it's a top-up tax, or some will call it global minimum tax. So either you call it minimum effective tax, top-up tax, or global minimum tax. And what do that, or what is that saying? It is just saying that companies that has a turnover that is greater or equal to 20 billion naira will be liable to a minimum effective tax rate of 15%. Company that has turnover that is greater or equal to 20 million will be liable to a minimum effective tax rate of 15%. And the difference between their actual tax and the 15% is what we now call the top-up tax. But this, I don't think it really concerns majority of us here. But for the multinationals, companies, the normal 20 billion threshold does not apply to them. They are subject to minimum effective tax rates, regardless of their turnover, because their money, what they are generating is high, so they subjected to all that effective tax rate as well. So, but by and large, let me just quickly control of foreign company. We don't really need that here. Let me see if I can. Yes, let's look at definition of Nigerian company. I'll leave that for the proper tax people. But let's look at the permanent establishment, or what we call SEP as well. Now, permanent establishment, or SEP. What is SEP? Significant economic presence. Now, this new tax law has put more weight on this permanent establishment, otherwise known as significant economic presence. So there are foreign companies operating in Nigeria just via through permanent establishment or significant economic presence, and they are taxed on profits attributable to Nigeria, which is supposed not to be so. Now, a company that is based outside the country, there are some of them go to Ikeja, they just have a showroom. They have a showroom maybe with one or two sales girls there, and they sell furnitures that run into millions. They only pay tax for the sales girl and disclose whatever something, and that is all. But this permanent establishment or significant presence, you either fall under the permanent establishment, or significant presence will hold you as long as you are a foreign company operating in Nigeria. So you can't escape. It's either you have a structure here, will take you as permanent establishment, or you don't have a structure, you have a place you are running your business and you are significantly, their transactions are going there, it will still owe you. So if profit margin method yield higher than, I'm just trying to tell you what to do. If the profit margin yield, if it's higher than actual profit, then margin method will be used. But tax payable is at withholding tax of 4% of sales, if no withholding tax. So there are a lot of technicalities there, but I think is for those big companies, not for the majority of us that are here. Now, I just will talk on this free trade zone. I think we have it in Ogun State. We have Wandom in Igbesa in Ogun State. Even the way the Dangote has its own refinery is also a free trade zone. Now, the Nigerian Revenue Service has also looked at the free trade zone as well. Then, export processing zone is the same thing as free trade zone. Those enterprises or companies may be exempted from minimum tax. The only condition why they will be exempted from minimum tax if at least 75% of their goods or services are exported. So there's not a clause that they will not pay minimum tax of that 4% of sales. That if they export 75% of goods or services are exported, so incentive granted before this sunset, we continue to be unexpired. That is, if they are exporting more than 75 minimum of 75%. But if otherwise we are consuming it here, you are making the money here, you are collecting our money here, producing and selling to us here, then Nigerian tax rate will apply to them. So, likely impact. Many large companies that their turnover is greater or equal to 20 billion will be cut off by the mandatory minimum effective tax, and this will possibly increase their tax burden. That is the impact of this minimum tax for those foreign companies that has been on tax holiday or possibly paying less. If they earn more than 20 billion, then they are to pay, and they will pay more. Some of those money they have made in the past, they need to cough it out. And the impact is that some of them will have to drop, they have to work on their cost structure. You can imagine a company that is here in Nigeria, even up to the person that is pushing the wheelbarrow. They bring foreigner to be carrying a wheelbarrow and moving inside Nigeria, refuse to employ some of our people. So they will need to look into that, and by so doing, some of them might not be able to bring more of those expatriates or their people down here. They have to do transfer of knowledge and technology, and that will impact on the per capita income of the individual here. And I think these are some of the reasons why this tax reform is looking into foreign organizations as well that have been, how do I use that, have been ripping us of what ordinarily should have been ours. So foreign companies will they manage from Nigeria, that is being managed from Nigeria or by Nigeria might be considered. And that is what the law is saying, that if you have a foreign company and all the management staff are Nigerian based or fully Nigeria, not that everything is, all the team are from outside the country, they might consider them and look into that. So let's just, capital gain tax, I don't think I have a lot on it as well. But the take home here is that the capital gain tax act is repealed. They have repealed the capital gain tax. It's no longer relevant, and it has been replaced with the unified regime of NTA. That is, I'm not talking about Nigerian Television Authority. NTA or NTAA is Nigerian Tax Administrative Act. So on an indirect disclosure, let me not bore you with all this, so that let's I think I've talked about the threshold and exemption. The 800,000 incomes to gain exemption threshold, that one is still passed. Gain on compensation for loss of employment or injury up to 50 million are exempted. If your organization, God forbid, somebody has injury in the office and what they are paying the person is up to 50 million, nobody, because they are not going to subject it to any tax, because even the person life is already at risk. So why overtax somebody that has been injured in the course of active service? So there are some reasonable sense in some of these new tax law. So okay, I think I need to talk little on capital allowance, even though it's some of us will say it doesn't concern us. But I can tell you that capital allowance is one of the ways that we can use to minimize our tax liability. What is claimable? Talking about claimable allowance that are permitted by law to claim. But then I think it's more for the professionals among us because of maybe assisting us to prepare our accounts. If we have issue with the tax authority, they will be able to make use of it. Now, this capital allowance, basically, you are talking about depreciation and deductions. That is just, simply put, I would say that is what capital allowance is just all about. Why the reform, this new tax reform does not completely overhaul capital allowance. They did not overhaul it. It does not, uh, it only makes some certain adjustments and clarification, not that they eliminated or removed capital allowance. Now, the thing is, there's an align in this new tax law, that is the Revenue Nigerian Tax Administration Act. There is an alignment and deduction. Some of the old allowance, depreciation and investment incentive, they are now harmonized in the Nigerian Tax Administration Act framework. Depreciation and investment incentive, they are now sort of harmonized, match in this Nigerian Tax Administration Act. Then excess profits, which that is deduction in top of tax base. If there is an excess profit, I think let me just still let me move forward. But these are more technical. Some of us will be saying that capital allowance and the rest. So let me just move forward so that we can. I want to do a recap quickly now. I have it as summary and key takeover. So if you have been listening or you have not getting anything, I'm doing a recap, a summary of everything that I've been saying all this while. I want to put it in bullet points so that we can really have an understanding before I now talk a little on the practical perspective. In bullet points, let me just, as a take home, what we have said that the Nigerian tax reform centralize and modernize tax administration in Nigeria. So that is it's the main purpose of this Nigerian tax reform is that one is centralize and modernize tax administration in Nigeria. And under the Nigerian Revenue Service, it is the one that replaced the old Federal Inland Revenue Service. And now with stronger enforcement, digital tools, and interaction or integration of data sharing. That is the Nigerian Revenue Service. They are stronger in terms of enforcement come 2026. They make use of digital tools. They don't need to start pursuing you with assessment, notice of assessment here and there. At the comfort of your home, you get most of their information. Then the Nigerian, that is, and they are also involved in integration of data sharing. So then procedural uniformity. When you go to Lagos State, go to Ogun State, Taraba, or whatever, the system that will be operated are the same. So there will not be no, we don't accept this one here. We cannot accept this roadworthiness here. You must bring the one that is done in particular state or so. All those procedural something will be well taken care of rather. Then that's the procedural uniformity. They talk of consistency, that what you see in state A is what you get in state B, and stronger audit/objection procedure. Now, if they are coming to audit your organization, it will be more tedious. But as they are coming with facts and proof, printed information about your organization that you cannot deny. Your transaction you've done, they have access to it. So meaning that it's stronger. And that will bring me to the practical aspects after this slide I'm talking of. Then that is then objection procedures are provided by the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. Unlike before, we just do it the way we like, big round, but the objection procedure now is stated in the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. But one thing I can tell us from that objection procedure, or you are doing tax planning, is that you must carry along the Nigerian Revenue Service. That is the way to go now. Even though no matter how good you are as a consultant, you must even be registered. There is a clause in the Nigerian Tax Administration Act that states that for you to be seen as a consultant in this new regime, you must be registered with the Nigerian uh, Revenue Service. You must be a registered consultant. So unlike just operating as a consultant without having registered, so you must be registered, meaning that you are traceable, and even you yourself as a consultant will be subjected to tax as well. So if you don't know your onions, then the level of consultants people will reduce. So you must know what you are doing as a tax practitioner before you can fall into the category of such a consultant. Now, that is for the procedural uniformity, and that is under the Nigerian Revenue Service. Now, for the Joint Revenue Board, they help to coordinate. I think we need to take that. They help to coordinate between the federal and the states, even the local government, in terms of taxes. And they also handle disputes and reduce overlapping jurisdiction. What do I mean? There could be some aspects where the federal will overlap with states. There's an argument, no, this is federal road, no, this is state road, this is this. The overlapping between state road, this is for the state government that's supposed to do this, it's local government supposed to do this. All these have been well taken care of. And there is also overlapping, it will reduce that jurisdiction overlapping. Then on the substantive side, when I talk of substantive side, here I'm referring to the Nigerian Tax Administration Act. The reform or the major focus of this Nigerian Tax Administration Act is also introduce what we call the minimum effective tax. The minimum effective tax, and it's also widen or broaden the residency. How do you determine the resident of a company or an individual? And the source definition. What do you mean by source definition? In terms of the income, which one are we going to assess to tax? Yes, it's making income outside the country, but it's not coming here. But where there is need to get one or two things here, information to that effect, the person will be subjected to tax. Then we talk of unified treatment of income through gains and harmonized withholding regime. So there is no hiding place for anyone again. So we have to do the right thing, and that is the main purpose of this tax reform. If you fail to do the right thing, you are likely to pay more. Then for personal income tax, the new threshold, just like I said, is 800,000 minimum or less. So if you are earning that, you are not expected to pay tax. Then this new threshold, or what some we call global taxation, is just there is a mandatory disclosure that are also required by those big organizations, and they must fulfill it, even if they will enjoy any benefit or relief from the government. Then in corporate taxation, I think I've talked about the tax rate, so let's leave that one. And since capital allowance does not really concern us now, so that's the practical perspective now, which I'm going to, I don't know how I'm going to state this for those of us For personal income tax, please, you can pick your pen and write this if you want to write. Key takeout. I'm talking about the personal income tax. Let me start with this. Now, under the Nigerian tax reform, what are those changes? Who do they have entered the practical perspective I'm referring to now? And I believe in about 15 minutes or thereabout, I should be done with this. Then we can now go to question and answer section. Now, on the personal income tax, what changes in it? Who does it affect? Why it matters? And the country's the step for individual and employee to take. Now, I've done what I call the executive summary here. For anyone effective 1st January 2026, earning 80 or below, you will not pay tax. The law has broadened the tax base, e.g., chargeable gains and digital virtual assets gains are now taxable. So let us take note of that. Any gain you make, either you are doing, you have, what do you call it? YouTube channel, you have, you are screaming, whatever you do it, whatever, I can't recollect the word they use. You are screaming online and all those one, they will have access to it and you will be subjected to tax. So let us be well guided. You need to register your organization. Don't just use only your name and just be operating. Now, all those virtual assets gains are now taxable under this new, under personal income tax, under this Nigerian Tax Administration Act now. Then, and it's bring remote freelance foreign earned income into scope for many taxpayers. What do you mean by remote? At the comfort of your house, you are doing job online. I know of someone, if I was even with her 3 days ago, she is about to go to serve NYC, maybe the next batch, and she's doing some job online. She's doing some job online, and they are paying her 180,000 per month. What does she do? Is just to monitor orders and help them to place order. Such kind of transaction you cannot escape when it comes to 1st January 2026. You will be tracked and everything, you will be subjected to tax. Those are what we refer to as remote stroke freelance foreign earned income. So if you have to do that, make provision for such taxes. Then most low and middle income earners, they will pay less next year or possibly zero tax. While higher earner and some previously out of scope income. Now, when we say higher earner or previously out of scope income, it means that those money that you are getting, that the previous law do not really capture an individual, but they are collecting more from organization like capital gains. You sell your property, by the time you pay your molile, and that is just it, you are out. All these things will be captured. That's the capital gain, digital income, foreign freelance income. We likely see higher liability come 1st January 2026. Now, the key provision that affect personal income tax. Now, the tax rates, they are what we call tax band and rates that will be effective from 1st January 2026. Unlike the one we have before, but now you can write, if you want to write, the first 800,000 at 0%. Anyone that is receiving 800,000 per annum will pay 0%. First 800,000 at 0%. Of course, with time, the template will be out. where you can just put your income and it will calculate it for you. If you even go online, you put a new tax calculator usable by next year, you will see tax calculator is already out. Then the next 2.2 million at 15%. The next 2.2 million at 15%. First 800,000 at 0%. The next 2.2 million at 15%. The next 9 million at 18%. The next 9 million at 18%. The next 9 million at 18%. Then the next 13 million at 21%. The next 13 million at 21%. The next 13 million at 21%. Then the next 25 million. The next 25 million at 23%. The next 25 million at 23%. Then above 50 million at 25%. Above 50 million at 25%. Above 50 million at 25%. Please kindly put in brackets the source of my information. It's fourth schedule of the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. Just put in brackets sources of this data. Number 4, fourth schedule of the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025. Now, these are the practical area. Please just let's take it so that any other thing we'll be talking, we will make reference to this. And these are the key areas that really affect each and every one of us. So that is number 1 bullet point I'm saying. Then number 2, exemption and relief charges. Exemptions and relief charges. Exemption and relief charges. Relief charge. Now, for example, minimum wage earner and those with, you don't need to write, maybe with time I will get it across to us. For this, I'm only explaining minimum wage earner and those with annual income of 800,000, they are exempted. They are exempted. Then, loss of employment, compensation are also exempted. Compensation also exempted from tax. That like policy changes around specific relief. Then for capital gain and digital access. Capital gain and digital access. Capital gain and digital access. Now, the chargeable gains are taxed at the personal income tax rate. Any gain that you get from capital gain or digital access, you are doing something online, you are making profits, such gains will be subjected to tax at personal income tax rate. No longer a flat low CGT in all cases. No longer just 10% for capital gains or whatever. Gains from virtual through digital access are explicitly within scope now. They are explicitly within scope. So please let us take notes. Then remote stroke freelance foreign income. The example I gave of the lady working online making 180,000, such income. There is a new provisions that bring many remote workers to freelance, even on foreign payroll, into personal income liability on foreign source earnings, subject to residency and source rule. Now, you are working with an organization outside Nigeria and you are in Nigeria, or maybe you are not even in Nigeria. So such incomes are also subjected to tax now. But it will be a function of your residency, where you reside, and source rule. Of course, let me quickly say that I don't think it's changed. I think from the NTAA, that is Nigerian Tax Administration Act, the NTAA, I think they still maintain that if you stay 6 months in 6 months above in a particular place, then that determine your residence group. And I know of some people that because of they believe the taxes they pay here is less, and they are staying abroad. The moment they feel that they are almost spending above 6 months in where they are, before that time they will come to Nigeria and spend some months, so that by the time they calculate it, they cannot spend above that 6 months in that place. So that is still applicable. Now that is for remote source. Then the source rule, it has to do with the inflow and outflow of the fund. Then administrative and compliance. Please let us take note of this, administrative and compliance. Now, consolidation of tax law into the Nigerian Tax Administrative Act 2025. Now, has to do with greater, what we call fiscalization. When you say fiscalization or e-reporting expectation. So I'm talking to business owners now. Your administrative and compliance, your expenses, your transaction. Now, excuse me, consolidation of tax law. They have done in such a way that the Nigerian Tax Administration Act 2025 will take cognizance of your fiscalization, your e-reporting expectation. Now, you can see e-reporting expectation. They expect you to be detailed in your transactions if they are making use of a software. And it is a software that pick whatever you do online. And you do things without proper narration or proper details on it. It will capture some of those transactions as your income. For instance, you want to purchase a printer for your school, and you want to use it to roll or photocopier or photocopy machine, and you just send the money. There's no narration. So the person possibly you send to is not a staff. So it is believed that you give the money to the person. So, and if it's not your income, you can't send it out. Such money will be added back to your income to subject you to tax. All this thing we are saying does not take time. It is system-based. It is not somebody that will be using manual. No, the system will run it. Before you say, "Pim," it has calculated it. It will have calculated. So we need to be more careful now. And it will move towards centralized revenue administration. After capturing all those details online, transmit the information to Nigerian Revenue Service. That is when you say move towards centralized revenue administration, which is the Nigerian Revenue Service, the development or department. Now, those one will now be involved in a transition and implementation window, an electronic system. What do we mean by a transition? They capture your details, it's forward to Nigerian Revenue Service. Nigerian Revenue Service pick it up there through other much more sophisticated equipment, analyzes it, look at the invoicing, fiscal devices. It will now emphasize it. So please, I say it will now, based on it, it will use it to base their assessment. So we must be very careful in our narration come 2026. In fact, I advise people from now, don't do any transfer, any transactions, any payment without putting the narration of what that transaction is for. Let us start getting used to it now so that we will not end up spending more where we need not to spend. Now, I want to, okay, this should be an example. Now, there is a question here, who wins, who pay more in your own view? When we get there, we'll talk more about that. Now, the employee earning less than 800,000 will now be exempted and will not pay any tax. I'm sure majority of us on this platform, this loop, I don't think only few of us are paying our staff. If they times it by 12, that will be up to 800,000 in a year. I stand to be corrected. I don't know. Only few of us. Some of us, if they even times it says, even our organization 800,000. Some of us that are here. So, but God will help each and every one of us. But the truth is that ignorance a is not a disease, and it's not an excuse for breaking the law. If you break the law will catch up with us. We have been breaking it in the past, and we go scot-free. But there's a new regime. There's a new sheriff in town, and things have to be done a different way. Things have to be done the proper way. So let's adjust, and that is the essence for this workshop or training. And our thanks will still go to Y.Y.C.I International for allowing us to make use of their facility. And let me quickly round up why we use a few more time to entertain questions. Now, so who wins that? The such person don't pay tax, but for higher earner, that's what HNI, HIN, high income earners. HNI, high income individual. Now they pay more tax, and they marginally, I could say their rates might be around 25%. 25%. I told us earlier that it's subject to interpretation. I know come January or before January, by December, a lot will still be rolled out. There's a lot of training going on here and there, but they do a lot of online seminar training for people. So some of us find it difficult to attend because we feel it's expensive, so they don't even pay. Then maybe to take our time. Even me that is sharing with us, some of these things have had cost to attend, series of training online on this tax reform. So some things are difficult to understand, yet we still have to move on with life. That is across Nigeria. We have to move on. And I know God will see and help each and every one of us. So I want us to look at this. Okay, we might not be able to get it. Maybe if I send the slide. There's an example I did here that assuming your annual salary is 3 million naira, assuming you earn an annual salary of 3 million, meaning that if you divide 3 million by 12, whatever it gives is what you earn by month. But since you are earning annual salary of 3 million, definitely you are not among the threshold of people earning 800,000 per annum. But that does not mean that it is your whole 3 million naira. I've gotten to the practical aspect I'm referring to. So let us pay more attention now. That does not mean that it is the 3 million naira that will be subjected to tax. No. The 3 million naira, which will now be your annual emolument or total salary, annual salary, you are to deduct the 800,000 naira from that 3 million. So you deduct 800,000 from the 3 million, then it will remain 2.2 million. And it is that 2.2 million that you now subject to tax at the rate of 15%, which I gave us earlier. So when you times 2.2 million by 15%, meaning that you will have to pay a tax of 330,000. That is the tax you have to pay, instead of charging 15% on 3 million. So 330,000 divided by 12, meaning that you have to pay a tax of 27,500 naira every month. So failure to pay that every month, it will be accumulated for you, and you might not be able to file your annual returns. And I think since is database and it will be synchronized, it will be integrated. There is handshake between the Nigerian Tax Administration Act, Nigerian Revenue Service, and the Joint Revenue Board. There's an handshake between them, and there's an handshake between the Nigerian Tax Authority across the states. So I know I am just predicting or foreseeing or visualizing that come 2027, if it commences 2026, by 2027 you'll be due to file possibly your annual returns. I'm believing that the system will have been so synchronized in such a way that we cannot cut any corners. The income at the beginning of January, what you have to spend in your nominal role, ensure that the actual income you are paying a particular staff is what you are starting the year with. Because the system will have captured it. It will have captured it, and it can even accumulate it upfront for you. While as you are paying, it will be deducting it for plus and minus. I think this new tax regime, there is room for tax refund. If you pay excess, the government will refund the money back to you. There is provision for tax refund now. You can claim your refund. But at the same time, if you underpay, there might be issue in filing the return. I am just thinking aloud. So the best thing, if there are changes within the year, maybe a staff, either the salary was increased, kindly do the needful, increase the tax that you need to pay on that person. Don't continue paying the old tax when you have increased the salary. And you must notify the Nigerian tax authority within your jurisdiction. So all these things are what some of the ways we can mitigate against paying too much tax. Now, that is for the personal income tax. Then I want to look at the practical implication and recommendation and action for individual. Practical implication and recommendation actions for individual. Now, of course, there is no way I will still talk of individuals without talking about those that are domicile or resident outside this country. For number one, when you are talking about individual where to make payment or what to pay, we need to check that residency status of that individual. You check the residency status and the foreign income. If you work, for example, remotely from if you work remotely from the comfort of your home for foreign client or employer, then you need to determine whether foreign earnings fall into Nigeria. Are you getting it now? You will first of all determine whether that your foreign earning you are getting, does it fall into Nigerian personal income tax scope? Having decided that, and whether double taxation relief applies, do Nigeria have a treaty with such country? If yes, start tracking your invoice, FX receipts, and contracts documents now. Are we together? You start tracking. What do I mean by start tracking your income? Start keeping all the documentation you have so that it will help you. Or some of us feel that because it's starting 1st January, that they might not visit anything this year. There is a plus and minus of 6 months. There is a provision that for commencement of anything, they must give a 6 months. And the 6 months from the time they pass the bill, if you look at it, June or thereabouts, the 6 months has already been taken care of. But in order to be not to move front and back, if they commence first week of July, which they were intending before it was changed, then there will be split of years. You have to calculate from January to 30th of June under the old regime, and you calculate 1st of July to December under the new regime. So, but they had to wait till January. But that does not mean, of course, we can't say subject to interpretation when it comes to January. What if it gets to January or end of next year, and they now say, okay, it was passed on so days, but I think it won't happen since the effective date is 1st of January, so it will negate that of this year. But you keep proper documentation. When the company pays you either in your own currency or whatever, have your documentation, because there is no hiding place. They have synchronized all the digital platform. Somebody was even asking, I don't say Bitcoin and the rest of them. You, including you that have your money in digital currency, all this Bitcoin, you have it in wallet and the rest. They play. Let's get to January. Let's see how you walk around it. All of them. If you have it in Bitcoin, everything will be taxable, will be subjected to tax. Nobody says government is not saying you should not do transaction. Their own is that pay what is due. If you do an illegal business and you are caught, you are absolutely on your own. But there is no transaction you do. There is a platform through which you do your transaction, and the platform is not spiritual. It's physical. People operate it, and there have been synergy. So forget all those things. When we come to January, we will have better understanding that this world that we are in is really a global village. That is when we understand that statement that the world is a global village. So that is for those of us that might be involved in working for some foreign organization. Then update your payroll. I'm just trying to rush up now. Update payroll, the list of your staff, stroke withholding tax expectation. Some of us, in fact, majority of us, school owners, business owners, we dodge a lot of withholding tax. They come to you say, I am not doing withholding tax and the rest. Yet, you produce textbook, or you see textbook here and there. You have it in large quantity. They see it in your office. And some of them, you are not the one doing it yourself. You transfer huge sum of money, 3 million, 5 million for them for production of textbook, bags, and some other souvenir in your school. Please begin to think right now, because there is no hiding place. If you do not do proper documentation, money that's supposed to be paid by the printer, you refuse to do it, the organization will pay. It will pay willingly. If there's a word that is called willingly, there's nothing you'll be able to do to that. So let us do the right thing so that we'll be able to be on the safe side. Nobody wants any organization to die a natural death, but we need to do the right thing. Then the key thing here under taking practical step is record keeping. Record keeping. Come January 2026, we can never play with record keeping. If you don't have an accountant, a qualified person, or someone that is fast in record keeping, please do get one. If you don't get one, in fact, the cost or the salary you want to pay that person, what it will cost you will be more than whatever salary you think the person want to take out from your hand. Number one, if you run into a problem of incomplete record keeping and all your facts and figures are not being accepted, then you will know that you need to have a proper person to handle your account. And the life has been so simple or easy. There are a lot of platforms, there are a lot of innovation, there are a lot of online maybe app, maybe some I know of some app, and I don't want to call names so that it doesn't look as if I'm promoting a particular product. I know of some app you can download through Play Store. I know of some that design program that you can use in your school. The moment you put it there, if they make payment, let the person just whoever is your account officer or secretary, let them just put the figure. It updates your record. You have auditory and the rest of them. So there are lots on ground that you can make use of. Ask your colleagues what they are using. Move with the trend of time. Don't be behind so that you will not fall victim of what I will call a die-known syndrome. It will not be your portion in Jesus' name. Now, so digital, everything is going digital, and keep clean record of gains or foreign receipt or any compensation of loss. Even if your staff is sick, they have to transfer money from the school account. I will get to the aspect of accounts under tax planning. Some of us just take money anyhow as we like. No, you must discipline yourself now. Any money you do from your school account to someone that is bearing the same surname with you is considered to be your money. That is a related party transaction. It will be added back to your income and it will be subjected to tax. Any transfer you do that you cannot substantiate, or you do not have money in your account, in your personal account, and you feel You can just take it from the school account, go ahead, you will pay, you'll be subjected, there are disallowable expenses. The system will run all those things in the twinkling of an eye, and it will be subjected to tax. And you have to make payments, even though if you are not happy about that. So let us be well guided. Then, if you dispose any assets, for God's sake, is a disposer, you are making gain, give what belongs to Caesar, and take the one that belongs to you, even though if you don't want to give to God, and enjoy yourself. Now, on tax planning,
Mr.
which is where
Odukoya,
I,
check your time.
yes,
Check
ma'am.
your time. Check your time.
Okay.
Check your time.
All right. I think I'll let me just wrap up in 5 minutes, ma'am,
Okay,
so
and
that
then you can ask them. I mean, they can ask you some questions.
ask question.
We can still
Let me
give
round
you
up.
another 20 minutes for that.
Let me round up in 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
I'll just, on tax planning now, uh, you cannot do without tax planning come 2026. Yes, even though the good thing is that it will even be done in conjunction with the tax people. You need to carry them along. And all tax practitioners, those that want to act as consultants, must be duly registered. So they must be registered with Nigerian Revenue Service. So, and it is only those registered consultants that will be listened to for anything. Those that are not registered will not be listened to. I think because of time, so that we can see, maybe we can take some few questions. Then uh, I think let me just stop here. Maybe later I will tell you one good news, and it's good news but not bad news coming out soon. Thank you very much, my queen, Elizabeth Lucas, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu, for giving us this platform. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, now we've listened to almost 2 hours lecture on this tax. I've also learned a lot. I've spent almost full pages. I've learned, even though I'm not in Nigeria, but the teaching is not limited to Nigerians alone. I think we also outside with the diasporas and even within Africa, we also need to learn from it. I'm glad that we're recording this video, and you will be happy to know that Mr. Odukoya's company has already been registered under the International Federation Private University, and also signed an MOU with Appleton Private University. So because of that, anything that YYCI International is doing as the umbrella of many organizations, we sometimes we record some of our teachings, and sometimes we let the Spanish benefit from the teaching as well. That is why I was encouraging majority of you to open your camera, because you never know who is going to connect with you. I also encourage many people to also write their name and organization, including the telephone and email on the chat box, because you never know who will be getting in touch with you globally. Remember, Mr. Odukoya said that we are not operating locally or nationally. We are also moving into global, because in this world, we cannot be satisfied with what we are doing or what we are gaining within the local area. So, and some of you, your organization might reach out to stakeholders from USA, from Canada, and others, and you might be attracting some sponsors and stakeholders to come and invest into your organization. So this is one of the things that YYCI International always do to exploit and also to promote individuals, organization globally, so that others can be able to see what you are doing, who you are, and what you are doing to contribute to the economy of a country. So it's very, very important. And I hope you've written your name as well on the attendance list, because that is also very important. And you've introduced yourself together with your emails or telephone, where they can contact you in case anybody in future watch the video, or also check out the informations on the chat box. So if you haven't done that, this is the opportunity for you to do that. Yes, we've agreed, because of many reasons, we've agreed that this kind of lecture will be 2 hours from 10 to 12, knowing the sensitivity of the tax in our in our businesses. So, but I will not, we will give extra 20 minutes for questions and answers, so that we'll be able to finish up within a short period. And we will also gain more knowledge, because I always encourage people to ask questions. The more you ask questions, the more you clarify what you've learned. And once you understand what you've learned, you'll be able to apply it and also run your business successfully. So, one more thing that I want to quickly show you is, because I missed it, I think I've texted it on the chat box. In case you want to know more about our trainer, I will quickly show it to you. Mr. Odukoya Olaniyi Olalekan is a lecturer at Ogun State Institute of Technology, Ibesa, Ogun State, Nigeria. He's also a tax practitioner, so that is why he's very good in what he's teaching us. An entrepreneur of excellence, because he owns more than one or two company that is also running, apart from working with the government. He has worked in the private organization and presently a tax office manager at Ogun State Internal Revenue Service, Nigeria. Finance and management consultant, the CEO of NIKOFAST Consult and NIKOFAST Model Academy, a citadel of knowledge, and is a fellow of FCMA, and presently running his PhD in accounting at Crawford University. On top of it, he's also a full member, an advisory board member in the areas of finance and accounting for Y.Y.C.I International UK. So that is why we are given this opportunity to release our platform for him to be able to share with us his full knowledge. So I believe that we are all gaining. Anytime he's ready to move forward and to do more of this training, Y.Y.C.I International will be happy to release its platform for Mr. Odukoya. And that is why time factor is very important. If we can make use of the time given to us, then there will be more opportunity for us to come back and also to learn and to improve our finance and accounting. So I want to say thank you so much. Meanwhile, I'm going to give another 20 minutes. I might not be at the, I will be at the background, but I'm going to give another 20 minutes for all my great leaders on this platform to ask your questions for Mr. Odukoya to be able to answer all your questions. So from now on, the time is now 12:19. Let's assume it's 12:20. Good. So next 20 minutes, we would like you to ask your questions so that you get your answers. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Odukoya Olaniyi.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu, for the great privilege. God will continue to honor you. And maybe one thing you forgot to tell us that you were once here about 2 years ago in our platform that you encourage us. I think I can still recollect.
Oh yes, oh yes. So many things in my head. As I'm listening on this tape, on this platform, I'm also doing one or two things, I'm multitask. Okay.
So please, if you want to ask any question, just go to the reaction box and raise your hand and you'll be called. Let us be orderly, please. So we'll be checking. If you are raising your hand, I'll call you by your name. And also go ahead and fill the attendance. Okay. Someone is raising hand. You can. Okay, go ahead and talk. You that you are raising your hand. I can't really picture your.
If you say that, then two of them will speak at the same time. So you need
Okay,
to
I'm
mention.
trying to view the person.
We
Okay.
have Rachel School, and we also have Israel Akinuwe say or
Okay,
something.
yes, Rachel. I think I've seen. Okay, let's do it in order. Israel Akinwave, please go ahead and speak. And after, raise your hand down.
Okay.
Israel
Also,
Akinwave.
also, while we are listening to the questions and answers, if you can't really open your camera or you can't speak because of maybe the connection or something, you can also type your questions on the chat box. It's very, very important. Okay, over to you, sir.
All right, thank you,
Okay.
man.
Mr. Olaniyi, I really appreciate you.
Thank you,
You
sir.
invited me to the meeting, and despite the other schedules, I have to cancel other programs to attend this one. Thanks for all the information. But my question is this: most
Yes, sir.
schools in Akute and the environment will either be a private and just like an enterprise, or some put limited or registered the schools as a limited liability organization. In the past, Ogun State government used to assess these school owners on they call it direct assessment. But under the new tax regime, you have said 800,000 or below will not be subject to tax, and any business that has an income of 100 million or less will not also be taxable. So I think Ogun State government should take note that when these schools submit their accounts and you say you want to raise assessment on them, you must recognize the fact that they are running a business. So the issue of just raising BOJ or personal assessment on the schools should not be the order of the day again.
Thank you very
So
much. Because of our time, is noted. I will react after that. I will only take 5 questions because of time, so that we would not go beyond the the time frame. I've noted it. I will address all at the same time. Thank you, sir.
okay.
So, Rachel School, please. Rachel School, just mute your mic, press your mic and talk. Rachel School, are you not there? It's okay. If the Rachel School is not ready, maybe let me go ahead and address Mr. Israel's zone. Now, for BOJ assessment, you were saying raising assessment. Now, some of these things might not be too visible next year. But presently, Ogun State is not just raising BOJ assessment. The truth is that the law says that at the beginning of the year, within the first 90 days, every owner of business is supposed to walk into the tax office and file your returns. You file your returns. Tell us what you have your annual income for the previous years from January to December 2024. You tell us what your income is, and based on that, you'll be subjected to tax. But where any taxpayer or tax person fails to file return, then the issue of BOG assessment will be given to such person. And BOG assessment, just like I said, is not a final assessment. They can give you 1 billion. You are the one to say that, this thing is not what I'm capable of paying. And the government has given us the room for such assessments, for you to do self-assessment. Come and assess yourself at the beginning within the first 90 days. If you fail to do that within the first 90 days, then government will give you BOJ assessment. But come 2026, I think by the end of the year, the software, the system that they will be using will have captured all your inflow and outflow. So even though you might have to still come and file your returns, it will now be waiting for you to come and possibly give false information, which is a jailable offense under the law, because they have details of all the money that comes in, all the money that goes out. So if you now file your returns, they will be able to know which one is your own, which one is not your own. I think that is the area for next year. So Ogun State does not just give a BOG assessment. Where a taxpayer failed to file, the BOG assessment comes in. So if anyone can call Rachel School, because they are still raising their hands and yet they are not talking. Do we have any other person that want to ask one or two questions? Mr. Olaleko, sorry, I hope I've answered your question, sir. I don't know the person that asked question. I hope I've answered your question. Are you satisfied?
You have answered.
Thank you very much, sir. If anybody knows, can you put a call through to her, or she put down her hands? Do we have any other question? Please, let's ask now. Not after the meeting now. You'll be asking me in private chat me. I will need to rest myself. Please, let's ask whatever we want to ask now. We still have we still have about 13 minutes more. But we have till 2:40. I mean 12:40 rather. Do we have? If we don't have, let me just use this. Do anybody still have question? All right. If we don't have question, somebody is only Rachel. Let me go ahead and just say
Hello,
this.
sir.
Okay, who is that?
Hello, I have a question. From
Who is that?
Majestic.
Okay,
From
Majestic.
Good
Go ahead.
afternoon, sir.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Well
Afternoon,
done,
madam.
sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Please, sir,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the recorded training going to be sent to us? Are
Is
we going
what?
to have the recorded training? You said the
Don't worry.
training
Don't worry. That will be taken
and
care of.
the materials. Okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir.
That will be taken care
Well
of.
done, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, sir.
Maybe
Thank you.
okay. Let me just quickly tell each and every one of us, by the grace of God, I'm still with you. Please just take note. By the grace of God, I believe so much in my people in Akute, and I'm glad to be part of you all these years. But I want to let you know that maybe very, very soon, though for good, I might be leaving for Ogun State Institute of Technology. I might be transferring my service there as a lecturer, even though I've been lecturing there since 2012 or thereabout. But I think I'm moving there very soon. But we're still together, and by the time I'm there, this platform is still open for us. But one thing I want to tell us is that if eventually I leave Akute, I'm going to send us a link. I'm not going to add anybody to my platform. That is the NIKOFAST Consult platform. I will send you a link. If you are interested, you click the link and you are in the platform by the grace of God. Just like our founder, Y.Y.C.I International said, to the glory of God, at least I was appointed also as a part-time lecturer with Appleton University, UK and State. So that aspect of remote job also affects me as well. So all of us that are collecting money somehow will be subjected to tax. So please, the take home here is that, please, those of us that are talking, can you mute your mic? And Rachel School, please mute your mic, please. Now, I want to talk from the bottom of my heart, since we are not asking questions. Please, the government is not against any organization come next year. What they are doing will benefit each and every one of us. From even some information from some quarters, even I'm hearing that even loans will be at single digits. Imagine if they give credit facility as single digits, meaning that nobody will be authorized to give any credit facility above 9%. It must be single digits. And the government is coming out with what they call National Credit Facility. At the comfort of your home, you can dial from your phone and you get facility to run your business. There are some good things that are for business owners. There are some things you can claim if you are paying salaries for people. So a lot of things I can't go into it at the moment. Even there's so many things, but if I will drop the write-up, you can on your own now develop yourself. So there are a lot of good things about this tax reform that will benefit each and every one of us. But my advice for us is that please keep proper record. Keep proper record. Whatever you do, ensure you have record for it. Don't dilly-dally on anything. If they give you any assessment, if you receive any text message from the Nigerian Revenue Service, if you get anything, seek for information. Locate those that can be of assistance. Speak out. Don't wait until when they now give 7 days, you now begin to run here and there. Let us straighten our account. Some are saying, I must turn my school to limited. I must do this, I must do that. There are so many ways you can do your tax planning. If you run from personal income tax, company income tax can still hook you. So but the main thing is that let us be sure that we are ready to do the needful. Be sure that as much as you can, be transparent. Do your business the legal way. Disclose the needful. Even if you have been reducing what you are paying, the amount you are paying your staff all these years, let us assume that we have scaled through. We have Atichelo, as Yoruba will say. Now we're in a new era. Please, let us come out with the real figure. Let them, and I'm even sure, just like I said before, about 80% of us, I don't think there are people that will pay staff, only few, if not a few, will pay staff up to that 800,000 threshold. How many people pay their staff 100,000 per month? So let's do what's supposed to be done. Carry the staff along. This is the new position. This is what they will deduct. The one that will stay will stay. The one that will not stay will go. Rather than, if I lose here, I don't want to lose this person. At the end of the day, you run the business you have been sweating on for years. You now run it into issue. You now begin to beg people here and there for money that you will eventually still pay back. If you have to lose a staff for you to stabilize, your school will not have any problem. Just like I told the parents when she insisted, come, any business or any school that is afraid of losing parents will never grow. You will never grow if you are afraid that, you will never grow. So put the proper policy there, put the proper rules there, put the proper person there. And the only thing that affects majority of us, some of us are not visible there. So if you are not visible in your school, make use of technology. There are a lot of things. I can't be mentioning names. There are a lot of technology now. Now, even at the comfort of you can even put a CCTV camera at the entrance of your school. Just like I have. From your phone, you'll be seeing them. If they come late, you see them. You don't even need to be online. Just for you to the first just go, and those CCTV camera even have speaker. Just go around 7. When you say, Mrs. Aliu, by this time, they will be hearing your voice. Even when you are not online, they don't know, maybe your guy is seeing us. So you do a lot of things to make life comfortable for you. Good people of Akute and everyone present, I want to encourage us. Finally, whatever you need to do to rectify your tax matter this year, it's better you do it before the end of the year. If you cross over to next year and you are still having backlog, you're having a lot of things, nobody knows the dimension it will go. Put yourself in my shoe. I've been collecting money and I don't have access to collect money, but I can still collect the one that you are owing me. I will do everything to collect it from you. So if you can find a means round, wherever tax office you are, wherever is the tax jurisdiction you are, try and regularize everything before the end of the year. Don't be caught in the web. Make sure that things are okay, so that by the time we cross to next year, by the grace of God, you know you are starting on a clean slate, and you know that it shall be well with everybody. I thank every one of you, and I want to once again appreciate Y.Y.C.I International. Is a group, is a platform that I've been in over the years, at least not less than 5 years I've been with them, and they were the one that recommended me to Appleton University to appoint me as one of their lecturers online, and I'm grateful to that. And while we were thinking of how do we do this program, in fact, you won't believe that it was yesterday evening that I reached out to her, and I'm grateful. After sending out the message, they still honor me, and I want to believe that we have all learned from this training. From time to time, we'll be having training, and God will help each and every one of us. My lines are open to all of us for advice and whatever I can do. And as I said, I don't know it all. I don't know it all. I only share the little I've been able to absorb or understand from the tax law, from the Gazette one. Some of you might even know better than me, but it takes boldness for you to come out. Because somebody told me, what of, even I'm telling some of my so-called or gas directors, they are on the platform here, even as I'm speaking. And I send it to them because you must be proud of whatever you are capable of doing. Thank you very much, every one of you. Our queen, please, we need a word of advice from you. Are you still there?
I'm still here. You can still,
Yeah,
I'm
thank you very
still
much.
here. I believe that.
I'm sorry, man. Let me just tell them this. Even though I need to tell them this, I want to tell the whole house that this woman you are seeing, she started mentoring me. In fact, when I was in secondary school back here in Nigeria, as far back as I think she'll be 1980 something. She has always a big interest in me among the whole family.
1986.
And she never left me while in school. Even when she visits Nigeria, she still make out time to see me. I just want to use this opportunity to appreciate you. We thank God for your impact, and God will continue to take you higher. Just advise us, just like you did the other time. God bless you all. I love all you people, Akute. Don't worry, I'm still with you. I've not left, but I have to tell you so that it doesn't, people don't speculate rumor. But I know it won't be long. It might be tomorrow, it might be next tomorrow, it might be this month, but I know it's very close. But let's do everything to clear all your outstanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olaniyi Odukoya. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for me also being on this platform to learn from your wealth of knowledge. Wow, what an amazing, amazing 2 hours of sitting in front of my own mentee and learning. That is a give back. I've done whatever I need to do for you, and now I need to take back. So it's about the principle of giving and receiving. I want to say thank you so much to all my great leaders. We are more than 70 today. despite the fact that some people probably there's a problem with the internet connection or the time factor or other reasons. I still want to say thank you for trusting us to learn from us and also to learn from Mr. Odukoya. I want to say thank you. You've done a very good job. You've made a very good decision because learning is living. Learning is living. Even if you have a PhD, even if you are a professor or leader or political leader or any form of leaders, or you are also the head of state or president, learning is living. On our own platform of Yes You Can International, recently, we just did our 5th year anniversary, and on that platform, we have the Member of Parliament of UK and also the mayor, former mayor of UK, joining us to share and also to learn. So that means anyone can still keep learning. So I want to charge you this morning that keep learning in respect of what you've achieved, whom you've become, and your position in the society. Keep learning. Just as Mr. Odukoya have said, yes, we are talking about tax on this platform today. 2 hours is not enough to gain all this knowledge. Why? Because Mr. Olan Odukoya just share
Oh
few.
no, Mr. Lao, you know that you can do that. You can help me. You can do it. That you are disturbing me since morning. Gbogbo nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ gbọ́n sí mi lè mi concentrate not because you are saying this, you are saying that.
Please, who is that person? You are disturbing us, though.
Okay.
What
So,
I paid for, I paid for. You didn't allow me to listen. See, no, I did not. I couldn't write anything because of distraction.
That is a very privileged information, my queen. Paid for, we didn't collect any money. Oh. Maybe some people are collecting money. Oh.
okay. Can I continue, please? Okay. All right. So what I'm trying to say is that we just keep learning. No, whatever you have learned on this platform this morning, you can still do better by researching, by reading books, by watching videos. Even these particular videos will be available on YYCI.tv YouTube channel. You can click on it and keep reading. The Bible says faith cometh by hearing and hearing by the with the word of God. But that is why in any career, profession, circular word, you keep learning because what you've learned today, you can still double it up and you can still upgrade your knowledge. So I want to charge you to keep learning, keep watching the video, and keep asking questions. And notice that majority of you want to tell me that for 2 hours you've been listening. You've grabbed everything. You've understood everything. You've known everything. Because that is the attitude for not asking questions. So you want to tell me that you've understood it and you will apply it. Okay, let's also, but please, as a good learner, we keep asking questions to clarify what we've heard. Because what you understand is what you will practice. What you've understood is what you will apply. I mean, people can go to university for 4 years, 5 years. But if all what they've done is just learning and not understanding it, then they won't be able to apply. I mean, it's not only just getting a job. I know that the unemployment is increasing every day. But then, if you ask individual, what have you learned for the past 5 years in university? I can guarantee that only 50% can testify that this is what they've learned. So asking questions clarify what you've heard. So it's very important. Another thing I just want to share with you as well is that I'm glad that I'm facing the entrepreneurs, the business owners. I'm glad, and even the leaders. One thing that is very important, we all have a lane that we need our path to tread on. No one is perfect, but we can keep learning. But on top of it, we all have the scale of our movement. So some people will fly. Some people have started this business maybe 10 years or 20 years ago. Some people might just started yesterday. But what will make us to progress in life or to be successful is to keep going. Like one of my mentors will say, if you cannot fly, you run. If you cannot run, you work. If you cannot walk, you crawl. The most important thing is keep moving. I'm not saying that you should move your property or move your premises. Or the more you move, the more you are gaining knowledge, the more you are learning. Learning is part of moving. You will notice that wherever you started last year or 2 years ago or 10 years ago, is not where you are today. So, but you can still keep moving. Another thing also I want to let you know is that mindset is everything. The state of your mind or the state of your mindset will determine the speed that you are working on. If you want to fly, then check your mindset. If you want to walk, check your mindset. If you want to crawl, check your mindset. But one thing I know that no matter level that you find yourself, you should target of reaching the goal. One of the reasons for reaching the goal is to pursue integrity. Are you faithful to yourself? Are you honest to what you are doing? Can people trust you? Because the more they can trust you, the more they can come closer and buy and use your services. Say, for instance, 3 years ago, I went for a conference here in UK, and I met one particular man, and this is the man that always stands for many people from Africa. He always advocates for them to get funding for their business and for their project. But he now said he stopped 2 years ago. Why? Just for one reason. I cannot trust anyone from Africa anymore. It must be something that has happened that he now concluded. So how you operate matters. So make two things your priority. Number one, integrity. Number two, excellent. Be excellent in what you are doing. Be the best of who you are. Be the best of what you are doing. And be the best of your operation. Be the best in your business. It's very, very important. One more thing that I will also say, in the market, we have traders trading their stuff. And then sometimes some customers will decide to go to one particular person, while some people might be struggling in the same market. They might be selling the same product. And then the question is, why are they going to that particular person and not coming to me? The answer is simple. USP, your unique selling point. So when you are having your business, always work on your unique selling point. What will make you and your business stand out? What will make you to work in excellent and also work towards your integrity, for people to be able to trust you. That is just it. Competition is good, but your uniqueness is greater. Your standing out is greater. And that is what you can work on. If you can make yourself the best, you don't need to struggle to compete or compare or copy others. So always have it in mind that your school should be excellent. How you operate with your team must also be integrity and honesty and transparency. Is very, very important. And finally, let me say this. Storms will come, challenges will come, adversity will come, obstacles will come. But what will make you to overcome is two ways: your mindset and your determination. If your mindset embrace these challenges and say, there is opportunity behind these challenges, then you will overcome. If you determine and not be distracted, then you will succeed. So I don't want to say too much. I don't want to waste your time. I just want to give you just a little inspirational nugget of wisdom. And if you want to know more about this young lady that is in front of you, you can check me out on any social media. Check YYCI up. Yes, you can international on any social media. My name is Elizabeth Lucas II on some of the social media, or my full name is Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu. I've just dropped our website, which is www.yyci.org.uk or yesyoucaninternational.com. So if you also want to watch some of our videos, including this one we just recorded, please get in touch or drop or click YYCI.tv YouTube channel. We have various masterclasses, diplomas, and also International Transformational Leadership Conference. If you want to know more about it, you can contact Mr. Odukoya Olaniyi, and he'll be able to give you full information about the platform that we've all been enjoying since morning. Yes, you can international. But one thing I want to let you know, no matter the challenges, no matter the storms, no matter the problems, no matter the situation you find yourself that cannot be controlled, say to yourself, I can overcome it. And from my side, I end my statement to say, yes, you can. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Odukoya.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the house, can we just say thank you, our queen? Can you open your mic and just appreciate her?
Thank you, Queen.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
our Queen. Thank you so
madam.
much.
Thank you,
Ma,
our
God bless you.
queen. We appreciate
More,
Thank
long
you.
life.
you,
Thank
thank
you.
you, thank
Thank
you. We
you.
are
I really
grateful.
appreciate you,
Thank
ma.
you so much, man.
You're
We really
welcome.
appreciate
Welcome.
you, man.
I
God
love
bless
you, Mr.
you.
Olaniyi.
We appreciate
God bless
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
I
Peter.
Olaniyi.
know.
Thank
God
you,
bless
Akwa,
you,
for the
man.
job well done. We are grateful.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. So
So,
let me just she will end it, but you can just be looking at yourself while they end the meeting.
Don't
Mr.
leave us, so
Odukoya,
don't go
you did
away.
mention that you have a good news you want to share. I think I remember that.
Yeah, shared
I
it.
I have said it. I
Please,
said
sir.
that I will soon be.
Shared it.
I've said
Okay,
it.
okay.
Don't leave
It's
us
okay.
because we'll miss you.
Yeah, I'll miss you too. But I will still be available for you guys. But I'm still around for now.
Okay.
It's
Hmm?
Okay.
thank you for making use of Zoom.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mama. Thank you, Mr.
Love
Olani.
to
God bless you.
see.
God bless Mommy. Mr.
Thank
Thank
Olani.
you, our tax officer.
Thank
you.
you. Thank
We
you.
love you. We appreciate your
I
efforts.
appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please,
Thank you.
Gbádùn.
Can you give me the permission to end this Zoom,
Ẹ
please?
ṣé
Please,
o.
permission granted, ma. Thank you, ma.
yes,
Ẹ
Mommy.
ṣé
You
gan
can
o.
go
Dr.
ahead.
A
Kid.
dúpẹ́ o.
Thank
Thank you,
you, ma.
everybody.
Thank you,
All
Mr.
right.
Bye.
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 Bye.